Everybody, how are you? Today we'll solve multiple questions about integration. Look at this example. You want to find integration of e power x over e power 2x plus 2 e power x plus 1 dx. Look at denominator here, e power 2x plus 2 e power x plus 1. We can convert this expression by write e power x in the top numerator and e power x plus 1 all power 2 dx, because this expression will be e power 2x plus 2 multiplication by first by second plus power by the second here. So this expression we can write it in the power, write e power x multiplication by e power x plus 1 all power negative 2. We can write this denominator in numerator and inverse is the sign about power here. Then we have two factors here, two multiplication them about term and expression. This function, derivative about this function will be e power x. We have two functions behind it, the first power and second we have in the power here. If you get the multiplication about them, you can find the integration, but if you're thinking about the derivative about the first function here, it will be e power x here. So we can cancel the derivative here and add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power. So the result will be this expression, e power x plus 1 all power negative 1, add 1 to the power and divided by new power plus constant. And then you can write negative outside here, positive divided negative equal negative, and write this expression in denominator here and write 1 in the numerator, e power x plus 1 plus constant. Look at here, integration of x multiplication cosine x power 2 dx. We know derivative about this angle here equal 2x, so we must multiplication by 2 here and divided by 2, and the integration of cosine, it will be sine. Okay, so the result will be what? Write half outside here and sine this angle here plus constant. Integration of the x over 1 subtract sine x equal space. We can convert this fraction by multiplication by 1 plus sine x conjugate about denominator here. It will be 1 subtract sine x multiplication by 1 plus sine x, and then we can write 1 plus sine x in numerator and here 1 subtract sine power 2 of x. It's meaning cosine power 2x, because we can use the identity sine power 2x plus cosine power 2x equal 1, and then we can write here 1 plus sine x dx over cosine power 2x, and then we can distribute it at 1 over cosine power 2x dx plus integration of sine x over cosine power 2x dx. We know 1 over cosine power 2x, it's meaning sec power 2x dx, and sine over cosine, it will be tan x dot 1 over cosine, it will be sec x dx. Understood? Sine x over cosine power 2x, it's meaning sine x over cosine x. I will simplify it here to know the properties. I write cosine power 2x cosine x times cosine x, and 1 over cosine, it will be sec x dx. Integration about sec power 2x, it will be tan x. Integration about tan sec, it will be sec x plus constant. It's the result about this example, tan x plus sec x plus constant. Integration of x dot cosine x dx equal space. Okay, we can use here this rule, write y equal the first x and dz will be cosine x dx. We must choose two functions here, derivative about y and integration about dx. Derivative about y will be dy and x will be dx, and integration about dx it will be x. Integration about cosine it will be sine x, and then we can use the rule here, x multiplication by sine x, x multiplication by this function sine x, subtract integration multiplication about sine x and x, and then we can write x sine x, subtract integration about sine it will be what? It will be negative cosine, because integration about cosine it will be negative sine, so negative it will be positive cosine x plus constant. Again, integration about sine it will be negative cosine, negative times negative equal positive, so the result will be x sine x plus cosine x plus constant. Integration about cosine power 3x plus or multiplication sine power 5x dx. We have two functions here. We can write this function will be cosine x multiplication by cosine power 2x and sine power 5x behind it, and then we can write here cosine x multiplication by cosine power 2x, it's meaning 1 subtract by sine power 2x multiplication by sine power 5x dx. Distributive here using distributive properties about cosine times 1 and cosine times sine power 2x multiplication by sine power 5. Okay, so the result will be 1 times cosine, it will be cosine x multiplication sine power 5x, subtract cosine x time, right, cosine x multiplication by sine power 2x multiplication by sine power 5x, it will be sine power 5x, it will be equal what? We have two functions here, derivative about sine will be cosine, so we can cancel this function here and add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power. It will be sine power 6 of x divided by 6, and here derivative about sine it will be cosine, so we must cancel the derivative here and add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power. It will be sine power 8 of x over 8 plus constant. Integration about sine of x over x dx. We can write here integration multiplication about 1 over x and this function sine ln of x dx. We know derivative about ln of x equal 1 over x, so we can cancel the derivative here and write the integration of sine it will be negative cosine angle ln of x plus constant. Integration of e power x multiplication sine x plus cosine x. We have here two functions, 8 of them. Derivative about sine will be cosine, so we must using this rule. Look at this rule. We have integration about e of x and multiplication about f of x plus f dash of x, derivative about this function behind it. The result will be what? We can write e of x, this function, multiplication by f of x plus constant. It's the rule, we used it to find integration about multiplication about e power x and two function here. Derivative about sine will be what? Cosine. So we must cancel the derivative here and write e power x multiplication sine x plus constant. So the result will be about this example, it will be e power x sine x plus constant. Okay, you must know this rule about this example. And what about this example? Look at this example, we can use the rule here about this example, because 1 plus 10 power 2x equals 6 power 2x. We can write e power x multiplication by 10x plus 6 power 2x. Why? Because 1 plus 10 power 2x, we can use identity here. 1 plus 10 power 2x equals sec power 2x. We have two functions, each of them. We have 10 and sec power 2. We know derivative about this function, it will be what? Sec power 2. Derivative about 10, it will be sec power 2x. So we must cancel the derivative here. We must cancel this derivative and write e power x multiplication the function here. So the result will be e power x 10x plus constant. Integration of e power x multiplication in parentheses 1 subtract cot 10x plus cot 10 power 2x dx. We know 1 plus cot 10 power 2x, it's meaning what? It's meaning cot 10 power 2x plus 1 will cosec power 2x. So we can write here integration of this function multiplication by negative cot 10x plus cosec power 2 cosec power 2x dx. We have two functions here. Derivative about negative cot 10, it will be cosec power 2. So we must cancel the derivative here about negative cot 10x and write, we know the derivative about negative cot 10x equal cosec power 2. Look at this sign. We can change the sign here, multiplication by negative, and rewrite negative outside here to simplest it. Or you must know derivative about negative cot 10x equal cosec power 2x. Okay, so the result will be what we cancelled. We must cancel the derivative here. We must cancel the derivative here and write e power x multiplication by the function here negative cot 10 x plus constant. So the result will be negative e power x multiplication by cot 10 x plus constant. Integration of e power x multiplication 1 plus x multiplication ln of x over x dx. We can use distributive here, divided 1 over x, and this term divided by x, and simplest the result. We can write integration here e power x and 1 over x plus this term divided by x equal ln of x dx. We can use distributive properties here, e power x multiplication this function plus e power x multiplication this function ln of x dx. You can use the rule here. We have two functions, ln of x and derivative about this function, it will be 1 over x. So we must cancel the derivative here and write e of x outside multiplication by the function ln of x plus constant. It's the rule. We must using this rule to find the result. Or you can using another method about this example. Let y equal ln of x here about this example and dz equal e power x dx to find the derivative about the function. Or you can solve this example by another method. Let y equal ln of x and dz equal e of x dx. Okay, then derivative about y will be dy and derivative about ln of x 1 over x dx, and integration about dz equals z, this function it will be e power x. And then you can use this rule here, it will be equal ln of x multiplication e power x subtract integration of e power x dot 1 over x dx. We can cancel this result here and write the result about integration about it. We use distributive about integration to function here. If you eat this result here, you can cancel this and write the result here. It will be what? Ln of x dot e power x subtract integration of e power x dot 1 over x dx, and you can cancel to result they are quality. Okay, we can cancel this result by this result, so the result will be ln of x e of x here plus constant. Okay, so the result will be e power x ln of x plus constant. You can use this rule or using rule in the first step. Okay, you can use the rule if you have in the example two function behind it, each of them this function and derivative about it will be 1 over x. You must cancel the derivative. We must cancel it. Okay, cancel the derivative and write the function here e power x multiplication by ln of x plus constant in one step. You can solve it by one step. Integration of e power to x multiplication by ln of x plus e over x dx equal half e power to x multiplication by ln of x plus constant. We must find the unknown here equal space. We can solve this example by derivative this function, and derivative about this function will be equality this result. The derivative about this function, we have two functions here, two terms. Right, first multiplication, first here half e power to x multiplication derivative by the second plus the second multiplication by derivative about this function here, right, half, and the derivative about e power to x, it will be 2 e power to x. We can cancel 2 by 2 and the result will be half e power to x here and x in denominator plus ln of x dot e power to x and derivative about constant 0. We must comparing between two results here. We can write e power to x outside, height common factor between two terms, then the result will be 1 over 2x plus ln of x. Comparing between the result here, ln of x here and 1 over 2x equal e over x, then e over x will be 1 over 2x. We can cancel x and x here, then a will be equal half. If sine power to x dy equal y dx, then absolute value of y equals space. We can raise this function here sine power to x over dx, or write sine power to x in numerator here and y here. You can write dy over y equal dx over sine power to x over, and then you can use integration between them. Integration about 1 over y, it will be ln y and the absolute value here equal integration about 1 over sine power to x, it will be cosec power to x dx. Then ln y will be integration about cosec, it will be negative cotan. Cosec power to x, it will be negative cotan x plus constant. And then we can use the rule here. We can write magnitude here about y will be e power negative cotan x plus constant. Understood? Because ln it's meaning logarithm about the base e. We can cancel logarithm here to understood. Ln it's meaning what? It's meaning logarithm about space here, then e power this result equal magnitude u. So the result will be what? Magnitude u equal e power negative cotan x plus constant. If I2 equal integration about x power 2 e power x dx, I1 integration of x e power x dx, we want to find the relation between I1 and I2. We can find the result about I2 and I1 by partial integration. We know I2 equal integration of x power 2 e power x dx. We can put y equal x power 2 and dz equal e power x. Integration about dz, it will be z, and e power x, and derivative about y, it will be y, and x power 2, it will be 2x dx. Used the rule here, multiplication x power 2 about I2 here equal, we solve I2 here, integration about this function, it will be x power 2 times e power x, subtract integration about multiplication between them, write 2x e power x dx, multiplication about two function here, write negative outside, multiplication between them. And look at here, I1, it's I1, we can cancel this relation and write I1, so I2, it will be what? It will be x power 2 e power x subtract 2 multiplication by I1. We can write here, cancel this function and write I1. So I2 plus 2I1, it will be x power 2, right here constant, x power 2 e power x plus constant. Understood? Again, in this example, you want to find the relation between I2 and I1. We can find the derivative about x power 2 e power x by using practical integration, or integration practical, y equal x power 2 and dz equal e power x. Here derivative, and here integration, multiplication between y and z, subtract z dy, integration about them. So the result here, we can cancel the result here and write I1 here, and moved negative 2i to right left hand side and change the sign, it will be positive, and write the constant here behind x power 2 e power x. Integration about 1 plus 4x power 4 multiplication e power x power 4 dx. We can use distributive here properties, 1 times e x power 4 times 1 plus 4x power 4 e power x power 4 dx. Here we can write two function here, derivative about the power. We can write e power x power 4 plus 4 x, write x outside here, 4x power 3 multiplication e power x power 4, because derivative about x power 4, it will be 4x power 3 dx. And then about this function, we can use integration about practical integration about two parts here. Put y equal in this function, I will find the integration about this function only. Okay, integration about this function, put y equal x and dz, okay, it's dz, y equal x and dz equals this function x multiplication. Okay, I write x here and write 4, this function 4x power 3 dot ex power 4. Why? Because I can find integration about this function. The integration about this function, it will be what? It will be function because the derivative was power behind it, so we can cancel the derivative here and write e power x power 4. And here derivative about y, it will be y, and z, it will be the x, it will be dx. So we can use the rule here to cancel this result. So the result here will be integration about e power x4 plus x times z here. Okay, subtract integration between multiplication about two function here. Okay, e power x4 times dx, ex power 4 dx. Look at here, we can cancel two function here, we can cancel them. Understood? I use the distributive here about integration about here function and integration about this function, and they cancel integration about this function and write the result here. It's the result about it. We can cancel two function here, so the result will be x e power x power 4. This is the end result about this example. Look at this function, we want to find integration about e power 2x dot cosine x dx. Book this function such that I will k it I, okay, and using practical integration between two term here, I will put y equal e power 2x and dz, second function will be cosine x dx. Derivative about y, it will be dy, and derivative about e power 2x, it will be e power 2x multiplication by 2. Derivative about the function here in the power. And integration about z, dz, it will be z, and integration about cosine, it will be sine x. Use the rule here, multiplication then, it will be e power 2x multiplication by sine x. Subtract integration between multiplication then, to function here, 2 e power 2x multiplication by sine x, and we have here dx and dx. And then I will get the integration about this function. Okay, I will find the integration about the function here and put the result here. Okay, I will put y equal e power 2x and write 2 outside constant. I will write 2 here, outside constant between them. Okay, and I will write y about this function equal e power 2x, and dz will be equal sine x dx. Okay, and derivative about y, it will be dy. Derivative about e power 2x, it will be 2e power 2x dx. And integration about dz, it will be z. Integration about sine, it will be cosine x. And integration about sine, it will be negative cosine. Okay, use the rule here, multiplication them, and subtract integration about multiplication by them. Okay, I will cancel it. Look at here, I will be e power 2x sine x, subtract 2 multiplications integration about this function. I will write negative here, look at here, negative cosine x dot e power 2x, subtract integration between this function and this function. Negative times negative equal what? Positive. Cosine x times 2 e power 2x, right? 2 e power 2x cosine x dx. Okay, we have here this function and this function. We can write negative times negative equal positive, and the negative times positive equal negative. Here I will change it to cancel this function by this function. Look at here, 2 times all term here, 2 times 1 equal 2, and 2 times 2 equal 4. And we know I equal, look at here, I equal this function, it's I. We can cancel e power 2x cosine 2x, write 2 outside here, we can write 2 outside, and this function equal I, e power 2x cosine x dx. It's I, okay? And here not equal I because we have it here integration, so I will be equal e power 2x sine x, negative times negative equal positive, 2 cosine x e power 2x, and negative 2 times 2 equal negative 4, and this function write I. We can move it, then 5i will be e power 2x dot sine x plus 2 cosine x dot e power 2x. We can write e power 2x height common factor between two terms here, then I equal 1 over 5 multiplication by e power 2x, write it term height common factor between them about sine x plus 2 cosine x. This is the result about this example. 1 over 5 e power 2x multiplication sine x plus 2 cosine x. Integration about 10 power 4x dx. We can write this function 10 power 2x dot 10 power 2x dx, and used here identity about 10 power 2x, it will be what? 10 power 2x, it will be sec power 2x minus 1. We can write sec power 2x minus 1 multiplication by 10 power 2x dx, and use distributive properties here. Multiplication about 10 power 2 and sec power 2, it will be 10 power 2x multiplication by sec power 2x, subtract using here distributive 1 times 10 power 2x, it will be 10 power 2x dx. Okay, we have two functions here. We can write 10 power 2x derivative about 10 power 2x what? A derivative about 10 equals sec power 2, so we must cancel the derivative here and add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power. And what about 10 power 2x? We can cancel 10 power 2x here and write sec power 2x minus 1. Okay, to simplify it, here write integration of 10 power 2x multiplication by sec power 2x, subtract integration of this function 10 power 2x. I will write here dx about this function. Okay, distributive them. Okay, understood. Write this function first and this function second, and cancel 10 power 2x and write sec power 2x minus 1 dx. Okay, first I can find derivative about 10, it will be sec power 2 function, and derivative about the function behind it, so we must cancel the derivative here and add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power. And here integration of sec power 2 equal 10x, because the derivative about 10 equals sec power 2x. The integration about sec power 2x, it will be 10x. Integration here negative times negative equal positive. Integration about 1, it will be x plus constant, so it's the result. Third 10 power 3x subtract 10x plus constant. Integration about sine by over 4 plus 2x multiplication sine by over 4 subtract 2x dx. Look at here, we can use the properties about sine, adding about 2 angle here, sine angle first, sine or sine cosine. Right, first sine cosine and cosine sine, and write the same sign here. We can write sine by over 4 multiplication by cosine this angle to x, plus write the same sign here, sine cosine cosine sine, cosine by over 4 multiplication by sine to x. And this function here, write the rule again, sine by over 4 multiplication by cosine 2x, write this sign here, and write cosine by over 4 multiplication by sine 2x. Okay, we can write the result here, sine by over 4, it will be 1 over what? Sine by over 4, it will be 1 over root 2, or root 2 over 1 over root 2. Okay, and here 1 over root 2, and here 1 over 2, and here 1 over 2. Okay, we have multiplication between them. The result here, 1 over root 2 cosine 2x plus 1 over root 2 sine 2x, this angle. Okay, multiplication by the result here, 1 over root 2 cosine 2x subtract 1 over root 2 sine 2x. About this result, we can find the result by multiplication by them. First times first, here it will 1 over 2, here write 1 over root 2 outside, and outside here I will put 1 over root 2 and 1 over 2 multiplication them, it will be half. Okay, cosine to x plus sine to x, and we have to conjugate. I will get this example 1 over root 2 outside here about the first. The result will be cosine 2x plus sine 2x multiplication, and here write 1 over root 2 outside, common factor between them. The result will be cosine 2x subtract sine 2x. 1 over 2 root 2 multiplication 1 over root 2, it will be half, and we have to conjugate function here. The result will be cosine power 2x subtract by sine power 2 about 2x this angle. And we know cosine power 2x, we can use the rule here about this function. Cosine power 2 angle subtract sine power 2 angle, it will be half our cosine this sine 4x over derivative about this function over 4. So the result will be 1 over 8 sine 4x plus constant. This is the result about this function. Integration, it will be 1 over 8 sine 4x plus constant. Integration about sine x plus pi over 3 over sine x dx. So we can use the rule here. It will be sine x dot cosine this angle, and write plus behind it cosine x dot sine pi over 3 over sine x plus dx. Okay, I want to find the integration about this function here. We can find the result. It will be sine x dot cosine by over 3, 180 divided by 3 equals 60, cosine 60 equal half. I will write half here and write in denominator sine x and use distributive here plus, and write dx plus integration about this function divided by sine of x dx. Sine pi over 3, it's meaning 180 divided by 3 is 60. Sine 60, it will be root 3 over 2 multiplication by cosine x, and I will write half outside here. Sine x divided sine x, it will be 1. Integration about 1, it will be what? We can write here integration about half, it will be half x, right? Half x. Integration about 1, it will be x, 1 times half. Integration about 1, it will be x, x times half, it will be half of x, plus integration about this function, right? Root 3 over 2, integration of cosine over sine, it will be what? We know integration cosine x over sine x dx. We know derivative about sine equal cosine, so the integration about this function, it will be an absolute value about denominator. So the result will be half of x plus root 3 over 2, an absolute value about denominator sine x plus constant. Integration about this function, x power e minus 1 plus e power x minus 1 over x power e plus e power x. We know the derivative of this function here, x power e, it will be what? It will be x power e, the same function, and derivative about the power, it will be e. So the derivative about this function, x power e, it will be e power e multiplication x power e. So we can solve this example by multiplication this expression by e and divided by e. So the result will be e multiplication e multiplication by x power e minus 1 plus e times x minus 1 times e, it will be e power x over x power e plus e power x. The derivative about this function, we can write what? X power e minus 1 times e. We drop the power behind it and subtract 1 from the power. Understood? And this function derivative about it will be here. So the numerator will be derivative about the numerator. The derivative about x power e, it will be x power e minus 1 multiplication e. We must drop the power behind it and subtract 1 from it. So the result will be 1 over e multiplication by ln absolute value about the numerator x power e plus e power x plus constant. Look at here, 1 over x power 3 multiplication ln x power x all power 2. Okay, we can drop the power here. I will write 1 over x power 3 and drop x here. It will be x multiplication by ln x all power 2 dx, and distribute the power here, 1 over x power 3 multiplication x power 2 ln of x all power 2 ln of x all power 2 dx. We can multiplication them. The result will be integration of 1 over x power 3 and x power 2 here, cancel them. It will be 1 over x dot this function ln of x all power 2 dx. So we have function and derivative about the function behind it, so we must cancel the derivative here and add 1 to the power and divided by the new power. So the result will be ln of x all power 3 divided by 3 plus constant. If f of x equal x to the power 3 plus 1, then the integration about inverse about the function equal space. We know about this function, f of x equal x to the power 3 plus 1, it's meaning y equal x to the power 3 plus 1. And we want to find the inverse about the function, put x equal y and y equal x. Change the parts here. Then x here will be y power 3 plus 1. Okay, then y power 3 will be x minus 1. Then y will be cubic root about x minus 1. It's f dash of x equal x minus 1 all power third. So I will put here, cancel this function and write the result and find the integration. Then the integration of f minus 1 power minus 1 of x, the inverse about this function dx, will be what? Cancel this function and write x minus 1 power third dx. We must add power 1 to the power and divided by the due power, so the result will be x minus 1 power 4 over 3 divided by 4 over 3, it will be 3 over 4 plus constant. So the result will be 3 over 4 multiplication x minus 1 power 4 over 3 plus constant. You can simplify it, write 3 over 4 here and root here, write 3 here and 4 plus constant in the simplest form. Okay. Or you can write in the simplest form 3 over 4 and write x minus 1 power 1 multiplication by x minus 1 power what? 1 plus what equal 4 over 3. We know 4 over 3 equal 3 over 3 the third. Okay, so meaning multiplication by cubic root about x minus 1 the third, it's meaning cubic root plus constant. Okay, 3 over 4 multiplication x minus 1 cubic root about x minus 1 plus constant, or the result here, or the result as you like about anyone, it's true. Look at this example. We have triangle APC, AD equal 1 plus tan power 2x and DE equal 2, AE equal 3 and this part equal y minus 3. We want to find integration about y dx if measure of angle ADE equal measure of angle C. So we have symmetry between two triangles. Then triangle ADE symmetry to triangle ACB, because we have the common angle between two triangles here. So we can find the ratio between corresponding sides here. 1 plus tan power 2 of x divided by this part, because AD will be right, the ratio between AD and AC. AC, it's meaning what? It will be y. This part, we add them, the result will be y. And the ratio about AE here, it will be 3. AE equal AB. AP, add them, it will be 3. 2 plus 1 equal 3 plus 10 power 2x. Then y will be equal, multiplication of them, it will be 3y equal 3 times sec power 2x plus 10 power 2x sec power 2x. And I will find the integration about the functions, the integration about y dx here, integration about this function, right, 30 here, 3 multiplication by sec power 2x plus 10 power 2x sec power 2x dx. Okay, then the result will be what? Integration about sec power 2x, it will be 10x times the third, it will be 1 times 10 x. And integration about this function, we have function 10 and sec power 2. The derivative about 10, it will be sec power 2. We must add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power here. We have third outside here. Here we must add 1 to the power and divide it by the new power plus constant. Because we have third outside, multiplication between two terms here. Third times third here, it will be what? It will be 1 over 9 10 power 3x plus constant. Okay, my students, this is the end question. You must study hard for questions. Goodbye.